Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory. Sigmund Freud was an Austrian neurologist and the founder of psychoanalysis. He was born on May 6, 1856. He lived most of his life in Vienna, Austria. Freud's works revolutionized the field of psychology and had a profound impact on how we understand human behavior. Name of theories: psychoanalytic and psychosexual theory. So, what is psychoanalysis? Psychoanalysis, this is a psychological theory and therapy that aims to develop and explore and bring into conscious awareness the unconscious thoughts, desire, and conflicts that influence a person's behavior. And psychosexual department. What is psychosexual department? And psychosexual department. Psychosexual department. This is the process through which a child's sexuality and understanding of relationship develop in stages, with each stage characterized by different conflicts and fixations. Contribution. Freud made several significant contributions to the field of psychology, including the development of psychoanalysis as a therapeutic approach, the theory or the unconscious mind and its influence on behavior, the concept of the ego, ID, and superego as a component, and the theory of psychosexual development, which outlined the stages of sexual development and childhood. Summary: Freud's psychoanalytic and psychosexual theory posits that human behavior. Summary: Freud's psychoanalytic and psychosexual theory posits that human behavior is heavily influenced by unconscious drives, especially related to the sexuality. He proposed that personality is shaped by experiences can lead to psychological disorders. Application: Freud's theories had application. Freud's theories had a lasting impact on psychology and they continue to be studied and applied in various ways, including in psychotherapy, where Freud's methods of exploring the unconscious are used to treat mental health issues. In literary analysis, where Freudian concepts are applied to understand the symbolism and meaning in literature. In the study of culture and society, where Freud's ideas have influenced our understanding of human behavior and relationships.
Good day, Coach Jude. I am Paikon Ibanin, and today I'm going to talk about Lev Vygotsky's theory of sociocultural development. First, I'm going to give his short background. Lev Vygotsky was a Russian psychologist who highlighted the role of social and cultural influences in learning. He introduced the key concepts like the ZPD or Zone of Proximal Development and scaffolding, which emphasize collaborative in learning. His ideas continued to shape educations today, which means Lev Vygotsky believed that a child's learning is deeply influenced by social interactions and culture. He introduced the idea of o- zone of proximal development, which is the gap between what a child can do alone and what they can do with help. His theory shows that learning is best supported through guidance and collaboration. The name of his theory is Theory of Sociocultural and Development. And now, let's proceed to the definition of terms. First is the social interaction. Cognitive development is shaped through interactions with others. The second one is the cultural tools. Language and tools from one's culture influence learning. Social interaction. Children can learn by interacting with others, especially those who know more. Cultural tools, things like language and symbols that children learn from their culture and that help shape their thinking. Vygotsky introduced concepts like the ZPD, which means Zone of Proximal Development, and scaffolding to show how learning occurs through guidance and collaboration. Which means Lev Vygotsky's main contribution is his idea that learning is a social process shaped by culture. He introduced important he introduced important concepts like the of proximal development, which shows how children learn best with guidance, and scaffolding, which means providing support as they learning new skills. His work has greatly influenced teaching methods that focus on group work, peer learning, and interactive activities. And now let's proceed to the summary. Vygotsky believes that children learn through interactions with more knowledge individuals, which helps them acquire new skills and knowledge within their ZPD, which means like zone of proximal development. Which means Lev Vygotsky's theory emphasized that children learn and develop cognitively through social interaction and cultural influences. He believes that guidance from others, especially in the zone of proximal development, helps children reach higher levels of understanding and skills. And now, let's proceed to the application. App- Application. Teachers can use group work and peer learning to support students, guiding them through tasks slightly beyond their current slightly beyond their current abilities. Which means in the classroom, teachers can apply Vygotsky's theory by using group work, pairing students for peer learning, and providing guidance and support as children tackle new tasks. Education can also use scaffolding, uh, offering assistance at first and gradually reducing it as the children becomes more independent in their learning.
Good day, Coach. I am Danica May and Francisco, and I will be discussing about Erik Erikson. Erik Erikson was a German-American developmental psychologist and psychoanalyst, renowned for his story on the psychosocial development of human being. He is the best known of coining the phrase identity crisis for his 8 stages of psychosocial development, which encompass the entire lifespan from birth to death. Early life and identity formation. Erik Erikson, born Erik Salomonsen in 1902, experienced a complex and uncertain childhood. The profoundly shaped his later interests and identity formation. His mother, Carla Abrahamsen, was strength from his Jewish father, Valdemar Isador Salomonsen. At the time of his conception, education and career. Despite his father's desire for him to pursue medicine, Erik Erikson initially attended art school in Munich. However, are certain about his vocation and his place in society. He dropped out and embarked on the period of wandering around Europe as wandering artist. United States and the development of psychosocial theory. During the period, Erik Erikson began to develop his theory of psychosocial development, which challenges traditional psychosexual theory. He believed that personality development continued beyond early childhood and shaped by social experience through the lifespan. Erikson legacy. Erikson's theory of psychosocial development revolutionized the understanding of human development by emphasizing the importance of social and cultural influence through the lifespan. His work has had lasting impact on fields such as psychology, education, and social work.
Good morning, Coach Jude and classmates. I am Ruby Jane Rosales from VTLED IA1B, and I am the fifth presenter of Study Hub number 7. So my topic is about moral development by Lawrence Culbridge. So first, I will discuss the background of Lawrence Culbridge. So Lawrence Culbridge, born in 1927, grew up in Bronxville, New York. He died on January 17, 1987, at the age of 59. Culbridge became a professor of education and social psychology at Harvard in 1968. So Culbridge extended Piaget's theory, proposed that moral development is a continual process that occurs throughout the lifespan. So let's start. So his theory is moral development. So what is moral development? Moral development is the gradual development of an individual's concept of right or wrong, conscious religious values and social attitudes and certain behavior. This is a stage theory. In other words, everyone goes through the stages sequentially without skipping any stage. However, movement through these stages are not natural, that is, people do not automatically move from one stage to the next as they mature. In stage development, movement occurs when a person notices inadequacies in his or her present way of coping with a given moral dilemma. So, according to stage theory, people cannot understand moral reasoning more than one stage ahead of their own. For example, a person in stage 1 can understand stage 2 reasoning but nothing beyond that. So this stage is will be I will be tackling this later on. So this time Lawrence Culbridge developed his sixth theory on moral development while working on his doctoral degree. So his theory changed the way sociologists and psychologists. So Culbridge's theory includes three levels of moral reasoning. Level 1 is the pre-conventional morality, and the level 2 is the conventional morality, and the level 3 is the post-conventional morality. So each of these levels are divided into 2 day stages for a total of 6. So, level 1, pre-conventional morality of 0 to 9 years old. Stage 1, obedience and punishment. So, what means this? So, especially common in young children, but adults are capable of expressing these types of reasoning. At this stage, children see rules as fixed and absolute. They obey rules in order to determine a sense of right and wrong by what is punished and what is not punished. So obeys superior authority and allows that authority to make the rules, especially if that authority has the power to inflict pain. Is responsive to rules that will affect his or her physical well-being. Stage 2, naively egotistical. At this stage of moral development, children account for individual points of view and judge actions based on how they serve individual needs. Reciprocity is possible, but only if it serves one's own interest. So it's motivated by vengeance or an eye for an eye philosophy. Is self absorbed while assuming that he or she is generous. Believes in equal sharing in that everyone gets the same regardless of needs. Believes that the end justifies the means. Will do a favor only get a favor. Expect to be rewarded for every non selfish deed he or she does. So let's dive now into level 2, which is conventional morality, or 10 to 15 years. Stage 3, good boy, good girl orientation. This stage of moral development is focused on living up to social expectations and roles. There is an emphasis on conformity, being nice, and consideration of how choices influence relationships. Finds peer approval very important, feels that intentions are as important as deed and expect others to accept. Stage 4, law and social order. At this stage of moral development, people begin to consider society as a whole when making judgments. The focus is on maintaining law and order by following the rules, doing one's duty, and respecting authority. So here are some key points. Is a duty doer who believes in rigid rules that should not be changed, respects authority and obey it without question, support the right of the majority without concern for those in the minority. So it's part of about 80% of the population that does not progress past stage 4. So post-conventional morality or 16 plus. Stage 5, legalistic social contract. At this stage, people begin to account for the differing values, opinions, and beliefs of other people. Rules of law are important for maintaining a society, but members of the society should agree upon these standards. So it is motivated by the beliefs in the greatest amount of good for the greatest number of people. Believes in consensus, everyone agrees, rather than in majority rule. Believes that change in the law is possible but only through the system. So stage 6, universal ethical principles. So Kohlberg's final level of moral reasoning is based upon universal ethical principles and abstract reasoning. At this stage, people follow these internalized principles of justice even if they conflict with laws and rules. So they believe that there are high moral principles than those represented by social rules and customs. So this willingly to accept the consequences for disobedience of the social rule he or she has rejected. So believes that the dignity of humanity is sacred and that all humans have value. So that will be all.